Welcome to the Humanergy Leadership Podcast. My name is David Wheatley. We're here to talk leadership in small, bite-sized and practical chunks. Enjoy. Welcome to this episode. And I've talked about American football before. I talked a few sessions ago about the idea of thinking like a college coach. So this one may only work for certain clients I have, but I've had this conversation with 4 or 5 people recently, and I thought it would be worthy of putting out on here. That I want to talk proper football for a minute. And in the UK in the football and the rest of the world in football leagues, that they have tiers of league. And if you've watched Ted Lasso, you'll understand that you can actually get relegated from the top tier into the second tier. And in British soccer, English soccer, the top 4 tiers are known as the professional leagues, but they have varying sizes of team and club, and some of them just never get out of the 3rd or 4th tier. So let's take Manchester City, who at the moment the champions of the Premier League and probably the best team in the world, and have all the best players, and they're at the top of the league with the best coach ever, pretty much. And they're not my team, but they're Manchester City. And then let's go a few miles away from Manchester City to Wigan Athletic, who are in the 3rd tier. So imagine there's 20 teams in the 1st tier, then 20 something, 22, I think it's 24 in the second, and then Wigan are in the 3rd tier. They're very different teams. And the reason I share this is because I've had this conversation with a number of CEOs who want to be Manchester City, but are currently at Wigan. And that challenge, that tension, is a reality that we have to face. Manchester City buy the best players. They understand that they're all the best players. They know what to expect from them. But at Wigan, it's a little bit differently. If you've got a great player, it's probably because they're young and they're not matured for their Premier League yet, or you've just got lucky somehow and nobody's noticed them yet, or they're on their way down. And so they're now in their mid to late 30s and are still trying to stay professional, but no longer can keep up in the Premier League. And so then the mix of your players is of some high potentials, some solid workers, but never necessarily going to be the superstars. And then those people who are coasting to that retirement level, and a bunch of kids. And the challenge is to understand what kind of team you're currently leading and work on getting the most out of that team. Because one of the challenges I've had with these 3 or 4 conversations is the people who are managing the Wigans, leading the Wigans equivalent, they wish they could have the superstars because then they could do all sorts with them, but they don't have them. And so the challenge becomes you either go work for the superstar team, or you take the team you've got and you make sure you're getting the most out of them. Now, they may get the most out of them and get promoted. So they're elevated, they've grown, and that's cool. And you may then leave for a bigger team, a bigger opportunity. But right now, if you're managing Wigan, that's the team that you need to focus on. And that's the team that you need to get the most out of. And you need to stop sweating that they're not Manchester City, but they're the team you've got, and it's your job to bring every ounce of capability out of what you've got. So some of you will have no idea what I was just talking about. Some of you have watched Ted Lasso enough to have a rough idea, and a few of you will know that deeply. But I just want you to be thinking about, what team am I managing? What tier is it in? And am I managing at that level effectively, rather than creating the tension between where I'm at and where I'd love to be, but I'm not there yet. That was the Humanergy Leadership Podcast. My name's David Wheatley. For further information about Humanergy, go to humanergy.com or check out our latest book, What Great Teams Do Great, from all good bookstores. Have a good one. Stay healthy.